Sir and title.
Chief Jim Ison, ISON, Chief of Police for the Greenwood Police Department.
All right, Chief, what's your situation?
I'm sorry?
ISON as in Nancy or M as in Mary?
N as in Nancy.
Okay, Chief, what's your situation?
At approximately 6:05 tonight, Johnson County 911 Center took multiple calls of an active shooter in the food court of the Greenwood Park Mall. Multiple agencies have responded and are still on the scene assisting Greenwood Police. The FBI, ATF, Greenwood Police Department, Johnson County Sheriff's Department, Indianapolis Police Department, State Police Department, Department of Homeland Security, Greenwood Fire Department, Marion County Sheriff's Department, and Indianapolis Fire Department are some of those agencies. As you can imagine, this type of situation is horrible. It's rocked us to our core. We're still very early in this investigation. What we do know right now is that we have what appears to be one shooter. Looks to be an adult male. We have not identified him yet. We do not have a motive yet. It appears that he had a rifle with several magazines of ammunition, entered the food court and began shooting. We have 5 victims. 4 have been confirmed deceased, and 2 are at Eskenazi Hospital with wounds, and we do not have an update on their condition at this time. I'm going to do another update in about an hour. I hope to have a little bit more on the conditions of the other 2 victims.
Is the shooter dead?
The shooter is deceased.
So how is he deceased?
We believe at this time investigators are still questioning the individual involved, but it appears that a good Samaritan that was armed observed the shooting in progress and shot the shooter.
Chief, first of all, you said you had 5 victims but 4 DOA. Does that mean you've got 5 wounded victims?
No, we have 6 total, including the shooter. 4, including the shooter, are deceased. So 3 victims are deceased. The shooter is deceased. 2 other victims are at Eskenazi Hospital.
And before you said you had 1 shooter, but I think what you meant is you've got 1 shooter down and then the shooter who took him down. So you've got 2 shooters?
We have 1 shooter responsible for the incident and 1 good Samaritan who shot the person responsible.
Do you know what kind of gun it was?
It appears to be a long gun. I do not know what type of long gun.
So how many weapons have you recovered?
We haven't recovered any yet.
And Chief, just for clarification again, sir, so you have 3 dead, sir?
We have 4 dead, including the shooter. To answer your question, tactical teams are still in the mall clearing. The mall is very big. It takes a lot of time to clear every store, every inch of that large facility. We will not start processing that scene until that is done. We also have a backpack that was left in the bathroom. We don't know who it belongs to. It was suspicious, so the Johnson County and State Police bomb squads are in there now dealing with that package. Once the scene has been determined to be safe, investigators and crime scene personnel will move in and start processing the scene.
What level of cooperation are you getting from what you called the Good Samaritan?
He appears to be cooperating fully.
What kind of gun did he use?
I don't have that information right now.
Size? Is it like a handgun or?
The shooter or the Good Samaritan?
Good Samaritan.
I believe it was a handgun.
When you say the backpack is suspicious, just by his presence there, or is there something to indicate that it might be an explosive?
Well, there was a backpack laying in the bathroom outside of the food court that was unattended. So given the circumstances, it's suspicious.
You mentioned it was a long gun. Did anybody see him walk in with that long gun? Did he go back out to the parking lot, or?
I don't have that information at this time.
Did you mention if there are people still in the mall? Like, are there still people inside, trapped?
No.
Okay.
Everyone has been evacuated from the mall.
You said multiple round or magazines. Do you have any more about how much ammunition he had with him?
Not at this time, no.
How many shots were fired?
I don't know.
Chief, the people who were evacuated, did they go out on those 2 buses we saw?
No. The buses were protocol. They weren't needed.
Okay. At this point, do witnesses give you an indication of what started this?
No.
Okay.
At this time, I'm going to stop this interview. I will be back in 1 hour, and at that time I will try to have more specific information for you. But right now that is all that I know. Okay.
What part of